It's hilarious. But yeah, I get your point, David. And ultimately, you don't want to kill anybody. You know, if somebody wants to kill you, you cannot reason with them. If they intend to...
Alan, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Watch the movie 3 O'Clock High. It answers that philosophical question perfectly.
I have a real quick question about the movie. Hang on, real quick question about the movie. Is it 3 o'clock and you want us to watch it while we're high, or is the name of the movie 3 O'Clock High?
No, it's about a guy, an average geek, who pisses off a bully, and the bully says at 3 o'clock you and I are going to fight.
Oh, that's a great movie. I remember that movie.
Yeah. And the geek does everything in his power to negotiate out of it. He even tries to get school security, and this bully is bigger than school security.
And let's not spoil it. Don't spoil the end of the movie, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great movie. Anyways, David, you wanted to ask me?
I'm sorry. What was your point? I'm saying like.
No, my point was if somebody intends to do you harm, you cannot negotiate your way out of it. I mean, it's just as a general rule, you know. You know. I'm there. I want to rob you. I want to kill you because I like killing people. That's it.
Is that a confession?
No, don't.
Yeah, like I was saying, like first of all, like
okay.
I don't like. Obviously, I don't like hurting people. I don't like.
I know. So do you want to die?
I don't like using the K word. I don't like doing bad things to people. So like my point is, there's a rush to judgment. Like, I was in another room earlier today where a lot of people was like, kill. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. I mean, let's just calm down. But for some reason, because of what happened with Charlie, there's a lot of people that, feel like that killing is the right way to engage in that situation. But like, no, that's not the right way. So yeah, this is my
part. Liberal motherfuckers.
So what do you
celebrating a man? Yeah, that's what you're talking.
So what do you think the punishment should be?
I mean, he'll go through the court of justice, and like if he is found guilty, then whatever happens.
You don't think the death penalty should play out?
Yeah, man. Listen, there's gonna be copycats that think that it's cool to kill motherfuckers for having a difference of opinion. Nah, you got to go, bro.
That's exactly my.
You gotta go. Fuck that. What the fuck you think this is? What the fuck are we in? Like, with
all due respect.
No, we're not in Europe.
We're in the stage of history where
with all due respect, the way the American justice system works.
It's not a mystery anymore.
We have an American justice system.
This has been going on. But what do you mean the American justice system? They had the death penalty before, bro. Like, what?
Did we ever figure out if that was a true motive? Did we ever figure out if that was the motive? He didn't like what he had to say.
We wouldn't.
That's most likely the motive.
Just asking a question. Can I finish? Did we ever find out?
I can answer your question. We won't go into court because
my question before you try to answer it.
I'm going to answer your question.
You can't answer a question I didn't finish asking. The question was, did we ever figure out what the motive of the shooter was? Was it necessarily he didn't like Mr. Kirk? Or it could have been mental illness. He just over there screwing around and he
I can answer your question.
Mental illness or not, he should be made an example of.
Hey, I am. See, because I'm going to give you a bean right now, because this is how much I believe in equal, like, expression, right? I'm going to make you a mod. Now I'm going to make a mod because we need to have balance, right? Yeah. So ain't no sensitive happening, you know what I'm saying? You go ahead and rock out. And you go ahead and bring a different perspective, a different point of view.
It's not a different perspective. I just think that the conversation, if we're going to have it,
though.
Yeah, I'm just asking if we're going to have the conversation.
So they don't know
whether
yet.
somebody died.
They don't know yet, and that's supposed to all come out.
Thank you, and that's okay to say.
I am finished. I was answering your question.
Thank you for the clarification of that. We don't know yet. We don't know the motive.
They don't know.
We know.
Hold on, let me finish, please.
Go ahead, C.
So he's obviously from a Republican family. He's not part.
Hang on, let her finish.
He is. He's nonpartisan apparently. So we really don't know. And the way it's looking is whatever it is. A lot of these kids, a lot of people, I must say, didn't. Both Republicans and Democrats didn't like Charlie Kirk for a lot of reasons. So I'm just saying that. So this should not be political at this point. And however they're going to come out, let me finish. However they come out with the information, I mean, I am concerned whether or not it's going to be slanted. I do. And at the end of the day, it's this young generation that I'm more worried about. I think it's a generational problem.
And
I'll be straight.
and he was a representation.
The problem is the kids, this new generation is going to go to school and put their hands over they're going to learn to put their hands over the rides. That's what they're going to learn to do.
We do not know why he was shot. There were a lot of people that don't like him. There's a lot of people that don't like Candace Owens. There ain't nobody shot her.
We do know.
Yeah.
I am speaking. Excuse me. I am speaking.
We can kind of
Go back to popcorn. Excuse me.
We can kind of narrow down why they did it, though. Why he did it.
Don't get shot off the stage.
No, we can't.
Just hold on a second. You can go back to popcorn. You can have it. I just say, if we're going to have an honest conversation, just go ahead and say we don't know the motive. He could just be some lonely kid that was bored one day and did some bullshit.
He decided to shoot
we don't
somebody.
know the motive.
Okay, this is the
Okay,
Yes.
we've
Has somebody ever really hearing from people telling them?
We can't talk about that. What we can talk about is gun violence. Somebody
We
dying.
can't talk about the physical evidence that surrounds it.
I think it's pretty clear the motives at this point.
You don't think we can narrow down why he chose particularly Charlie
None of
Kirk?
y'all are on the case, so no, you can't.
And everything else is very clear.
You
This
can't
person's
balance
not
life.
a Republican who thinks Charlie Kirk isn't Republican enough.
guys.
Right.
He's not a
Let's be
politician.
adults.
He was
Politician.
So y'all telling me y'all went to school to learn how to put your hands over it?
he was a future president, bro. He was a future president.
Asking nicely.
I know he wasn't. I mean, nice try though.
Okay, go ahead, Shy. Shy's the only one that's asking nicely to talk, so go ahead, Shy. Thank you. That was very respectful.
Thank you. There's only but so many sides this guy can land on, and if you gather up the evidence that we have thus far, that shortens it down to possibly center left or on the left. The reason why he couldn't be a groyper, which is basically someone on the alt-right or far right, is because of the way he described Charlie. They wouldn't have described him in a way that, Charlie is hateful. No, Groypers think that people like Charlie Kirk aren't hateful enough, right? So that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up together. So the only place you can really be put is more than likely on the left. I don't understand why it's so hard for the left to admit that he's more than likely on their side. He more than likely aligns with their views. That isn't to say that all of them. Yeah, it's not to say that all of them are capable of doing such things.
That is not true. The left, honestly, that is not accurate.
Q, can I go after Alan? Can I go after Alan?
Quiet down. It's going to go Alan, Terry, and Fred. And please let them finish their complete points. Shy, are you done?
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, Shy, the reason why it's so hard for them to admit it is because they are desperately afraid of the fallout from this, and they want to do everything they can to deny their responsibility for this and the other, and the last 10 years of them demonizing the right and calling for violence against the right. Look what, someone, I forgot about this. Look at what happened with all the Tesla dealerships. Elon Musk says, you know what, I'm going to support Trump. And people start firebombing Tesla dealerships, and people are like attacking Teslas and scratching Teslas. This is the standard operating procedure of the left, and now the chickens have come home to roost, and some 22-year-old who engraved, as you pointed out, pro-furries, which is part of the trans movement, memes in the bullet casing, pro-Antifa messages in the bullet casings, has seen riding, it looks like he's riding a Trump horse, anti-Trump messages, pro-leftist things, and it's now come out that his roommate, who was a furry and was transitioning to a woman, that they were lovers. I haven't seen the report, but they were at minimum roommates. And the left keeps saying, like I am, or whatever her name was, kept saying, oh no, but we really don't know. Oh no, he was a groyper. Oh no, his whole family was Republican and MAGA, so he must have been. They're squirming around in their seats because they know this is their assassination, and middle America, moderate America knows it. And the fallout from this, I'm calling this the JFK assassination of this generation, and it will have repercussions that don't bode well for the Democratic Party. Period. I'm done. Thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, true. That's definitely true.
No other incident has the Democratic Party more shown their hand.
Go ahead, Kerry.
I wanted to agree with everything that Alan said. We got robbed of a future president, a potential future president. I'm afraid that now you can't say shit anymore, and freedom of speech, I feel like, is under attack. And I think a lot of the Democrats are definitely scared because of what could happen, because of all that years and years of demonizing the right. I just think it's a really, really fucked up time right now. And most likely, he 100%, 80% that he was a lefty. All those years and years of being brainwashed and being told that the right is fascist, the white supremacist, all this fucking extra bullshit, it really brainwashed people. And we're not going to be able to say anything. It's just fucking crazy, man.
Somebody who was really deep in it, it was like furry trans stuff. Right? When you get deep into it, that's where your brain starts working that way. Physically, it changes into thinking that way, and it's diametrically opposed to, how people think.
I don't doubt that he probably think he did something right. And I mean, it's because they brainwash you so much to think that, you're fighting fascists. That's why they're so determined to just follow through and do and say whatever they want to the right.
Yeah, the rhetoric they've been using, the rhetoric they've been using on the prior to this event with Charlie, the rhetoric, pick the shit out of him. Excuse my language. Punch him in the face. I would have punched him. They are actually talking about violence, acts of violence that they are talking about they would do. You cannot tell me that they are not pushing the narrative to people to be violent.
100%, bro.
All right, let Free go. Go ahead, Free.
Appreciate you. Everyone, and not to sound like they're checking everything, we're all on the same page, which I think is just obvious at this point. They're doing everything they can to distance themselves, and the main reason being that should bother all of us. Not only they don't want to be accountable, yes, if you're accountable, you have to, make the right amends, but that's the thing they don't want to. They want to further this, meaning that I don't even think it's cognizant. I think the fact that they don't want to take accountability for this because they don't want to be looked at as bad guys, that's one thing, and then, of course, it enables other people to do it. When you celebrate this type of stuff, we know celebrity celebration that means that you typically want more of what you're celebrating, right? Because people want to kind of be celebrated and they want to do celebratory things. And if we're saying that you're taking out the people who are supposedly harmful in our society, then you're likely going to get more activists doing such a thing, people acting on this. So, of course, like Alan said, the Tesla attacks, the Trump supporter attacks, the healthcare attacks, the political attacks, the ICE attacks. I mean, we can go on about all the things the left did, not even talking about the BLM shit and the other Antifa shit. So this party has been a force of violence and intimidation for the longest, doxing people. Yeah, exactly. All in the last 5 years, 10 years, doxing people, counsel culture, and counseling culture. Like the whole idea of doxing someone is not just to get them fired, which is of course part of it because you at least want something, but it's also to provoke one of the loonies in your party to carry out the actual threats, to carry out deleting somebody. Why would you need a person's home address and schedules and relatives because they said something that you don't like online? You want somebody in your party to actually go and do something to them. And now we having that being full fleshed out. And these people feel like there are heroes, which goes into the celebration thing. These people feel like this is a good guy. So, of course, when Luigi did it to the healthcare guy, all the memes about him being a good guy. So this could be the same thing with this Tyler Robinson, which we'll probably see soon enough in the next few days of people getting shirts and stuff like that, to praise this guy. So the bottom line is that we're in a dangerous state based on the left, and people who supposedly center or left don't want to look at it for that reason because they don't want to be held accountable, and worse off, they don't want to change, which means we're going to get more of this. That's all I want to say.
Their reality is imposed, it's based on lies. So their communication is always based on manipulation.
Yeah, bro, it's like somebody coming and telling you, wouldn't you want to get rid of all the people that are oppressing you and all the fascists and crazy people? And then he goes, yeah, we need to get him. And he thinks he's doing something fucking right.
Yeah, because they blame their problems on the right or the current state of affairs. Their morality is based on changing the government to be the way they want it, so they're willing to do whatever. They see it as life or death.
Yep. And the scary thing is, people like us would be silent because they're so loud and trying to cancel anyone that's opposing that.
Yeah. Because they control so many institutions, so much ideological capture, the most powerful people in these institutions are trapped, they have golden handcuffs. You have to entertain their every whim or else they just throw a tantrum, and then what can you do? It's like Stalinism. All the people on your Instagrams, all the, everybody apologizing now. They're doing, they're trying to do damage control. They won't take their L. It's not a mystery. It's pretty black and white.
Yeah, bro, I saw people like making videos about saying how sad it is that he passed away, that I would have never thought that somebody like that would have ever said anything like that about Charlie Kirk. It's 100% damage control because they realize they fucked up. Like, you can't just keep doing this and expecting.
Oh, look, some people are saying that. Yeah, the few people I've seen, they're trying they make excuses because they're trying to defend their position. And this is really, it's kind of like, it shows where it's really an extreme phenomenon, right? This guy, like, he's a furry. He's got memes, video game memes on his bullet. It's like, this is really where things end up. This is where things end up is when traditional values don't have, when you don't account for realities.
You live in a box.
If he wants to be a furry, that's none of this.
Yeah, no. But it shows someone who, really got into pornography.
Hey, but what do you think about, say, these people who are
with all due respect, that's none of our business. If somebody wants to involve in pornography,
no judgment, I guess. But...
Yeah, but none of those things I think are an indicator at all about his actions. He was when you look at him, he really does. To me, he looks like he's sick. Like something is like really off. Even
we shouldn't pass judgment without knowing the.
Yeah, no judgment. I personally think if he had a gym membership, if you studied some ancient history, you wouldn't turn out this way. But
yeah, I think we should wait to hear. Obviously he's going to appear in court, and we can wait on that situation.
Yeah.
We should not. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I wouldn't say. I hear what you guys are saying. I'm sorry, brother. I got you free. Let me just say this real quick. I'll let you take off, brother. I would say it's tough for me to see how they cannot see where he got this from. His family at home, a staunch Republican family, right? We agree. He went to college. What's going on in the colleges right now? Where a lot of kids going and coming back more radicalized? Has there been problems with parents telling people that their kids are going to college, becoming super radicalized? Is there black parents doing the same thing? Say, yo, my son went to college and he's coming back racist. This is what is being presented to our society. And when we see things happen like this, we know where it's coming from. We cannot say, oh, we don't know what, we don't know what. If we see on TV that a lot of people from the left are saying, fascist, he's a fascist, he's a fascist, he's a fascist. He writes a bullet, he engraves on the casing, fascist. He kills him with a different bullet. They find on one of the bullets to say fascist. What is his belief? What does he believe that this person is? They got bullets on it. When people write on bullets, it's intended for someone. And it's intended to have a meaning. So he meant what he wrote. And they understood what he wrote because it's all based off this new stuff going on with the internet memes and all that stuff. And he was young. So he grew up around this whole humanization of people who think different from you. So he was raised being indoctrinated. And then he grew up to fulfill what he was taught. He did a good thing for what he was taught, but he was wicked for doing it.
Yeah, bro, it's like whenever our parents would say, don't fall with the wrong crowd, right? He fell into the wrong crowd and he listened to the wrong people.
Agree. Like that's the thing about it, which really baffles me when you listen to media and how the left don't believe they're radicalizing people. Like we didn't have this issue over a decade ago. We didn't. Like people had their own positions, people talked it out, and just moving on about their life. But now people are showing up at people's houses, stalking them, like I said, doxing, all this other crazy shit. We are in a vastly different society, let alone in my lifetime, let alone probably all of American history, to where we've gotten this extreme. So they're totally negligent of the effects of their rhetoric. They really are, and they won't stop it. They won't turn it away. And so the whole thing about Nick Fuentes and the worker shit and all this bull is every attempt to detach this from them. That's all. It can't possibly be them. It has to be something else. But all the evidence suggests that. So these conversations just kills me. And I'll land on this because you're trying to talk to people to get them to see it. And like I said, they'll do everything in their power not to see it because they're just as radical. They're radicalized just like him. They cannot see past their own bias.
Their own pockets, too. Don't forget that, brother.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, like I said before, people like us are silent because we don't want to get involved in it because they would get messy and do all that crazy shit. But at this point, it's like you can't not say something about this shit.
I have a unique take. I think Charlie was a moderate radical.
A moderate radical.
Based on what?
I think there's like this new phenomenon. There's a new phenomenon. It's like a digestible radical. I believe Charlie was a digestible radical. Yeah, I think that's what he was. He wasn't. He poses as a moderate. He frames himself as a moderate, and it's a common phenomenon nowadays. We have hard left.
Can you define radical? What does it mean?
Can you define a moderate radical for me and why?
Yeah, so radical in the sense of unwavering, right? So, in the sense, facts do not change your opinion. I would consider you radical. You are unwavering. You are unfaltering. You will stick by your judgment, regardless if the facts change. You will find new facts.
So, in your opinion, what should do with people that are unwavering?
We shouldn't do anything to anyone. That's an opinion.
Well, amazing.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't shoot them.
Whoa.
I think the problem is.
Well, that's apparently it seems like the easy way to make the situation go away. Apparently.
What do you think he was radical about? Sorry to cut you off.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious to know too. Like, what is it that is moderately radical to you?
So, again, I go back to me, a radical is an individual who picks an opinion, and regardless of the information he receives, he doesn't try to reconfigure his perspective. He finds new figures to reconvene and then still pose his.
Can I ask you, like, do you think, like, the Prime Minister of England is, based on what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. No, the issue is when you're part of an organization. So, for example,
Are you saying no, he's not a radical? You're saying no, he's not a radical. Based on what?
I'm answering the question. So when you're employed by the Democrats or you're employed by the Republicans on an official basis, I don't know if Charlie was Charlie an official?
I was talking about the Prime Minister of England.
Right. Well, I'm just asking: was Charlie officially a Republican in the sense of was he employed by the Republican?
Well, I'm asking about the Prime Minister. Do you think like when he's? Do you think
I have to be consistent, so I'm asking. This will help me answer your question. I can answer based on if Charlie was an official employed. Was he employed by the Republican Party? Is my question.
I'm not sure about that, but a lot of his views and points did kind of align with them. Right. In my opinion.
The reason why I say that is because when you have a contractual obligation to a particular party, then you know being unwavering is part of your contractual obligation.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm very upset about Charlie Kirk's murder. And I think that the Constitution is very relevant because in a court of law, you have to use the law. And these are pre-written documents. So to think that the government and lawyers won't use them in defense or prosecution is ridiculous. And these seem to be sacrosanct, but I would say that Charlie is a good example why we should come together at this difficult time to completely wipe out all common sense and history of law and just go with whatever radical Democrat, liberal, socialist, Marxist, transgendered, feminist terrorists.
If I do this, then he might do.
Question. Simply say. He said, Charlie Kirk said, I didn't say that. I didn't say I want to abolish the civil rights movement. Charlie Kirk looked down on this black child and put his finger in that black child's face and said, I said it was a mistake. And then he walked off. So this man was an avid rabbit suspected white supremacist anti-black person who had an agenda, and that was to stoke racial animus to the next generation of white children in this country, and then hopefully he could stoke it around the world. But his emphasis was on America and the American Negro. He despised the American Negro.
And so they want this race war. And they were hoping that Charlie Kirk's assassination would stoke a race war in this country. They've been vying for it. They've been desiring it. And every little bit that they can push towards that happening, they're doing their best to do so.
I have to agree with that. But go ahead, Steph. Were you next?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if I could get back in the queue. One statement I just wanted to make. And when the brother was speaking, it made me think about bullies. And all of us have went through grade school and high school, you know, all that good stuff. And if you never encountered a bully and you never knew a bully, good for you. But unfortunately, I'm all too familiar. In elementary school, middle school, but when I got to high school, I recall very vividly this one bully wanted to come, you know, for whatever reason, target me. And I'm going to tell you that was the last day that I was bullied, when I beat her motherfucking ass. I'm done speaking.
You beat her up? This is fun. Yeah, I get it. And so you're right. That takes me back. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, yeah, they'll think twice.
Well, not only just her, but everybody else, right? So what brother was saying about violence, see, I'm not a big proponent of violence either. However, if someone is charging at you with a knife, you better shoot them. See, it's about us responding in a way in which it thwarts any further threat. I'm done speaking.
I mean, but now listen, I agree, right? Meaning that I don't think we have the time. Hold on for a second. Go ahead. The floor is open. I'll be back.
Have to be up high enough. The brother just gave you the numbers. It's only 40 million. You ain't ready for no war. We got to think further out. Multiply yourself by 5 and start making some babies. We was at one point in time, your grandmother was having 13 children, 12 kids.
Nope, mine's got
10 kids.
It took 9 months, and she had to have 6 weeks to recover, and then go back into that. Ain't nobody on that show.
Start fucking. Everybody, get somebody. Make love, not war.
Just say you having sex. Just say you trying to get some ass.
That's all you got.
That's all that man think about is fucking. Gay guy.
I don't think making babies is the answer. Maybe fun, but I don't think that's the
answer. The brother gave you the numbers. The numbers are low.
Yeah, I know, I get it. But
start fucking.
I think the short term,
I would say the short term is education. I think before we make relevant decisions, I think it's very irresponsible of any black man as a leader to talk to a group and talk about violence, putting everybody in threat, knowing that he has no ability to defend nobody on this call. If the people snatch everybody up today and put them in the prison, this person who's speaking this has no ability to come get you out of the situation or no power. So it's just talking, and it's irrelevant because it has no meaning if you don't have no power to implement. So when you're talking about the death threat, you're putting your people in a greater death threat because you're speaking from ignorance. Now, when we speak about the change on short term, we need to know what's going on. How did we get in this situation? First stage is we got put in slavery and colonialism through an issuing by a church. The Catholic Church issued the Papal Bull Doctrine. The Papal Bull Doctrine delegated authority to certain European powers to go out, colonize and enslave people. These same people are holding us today under the same delegation of authority. They have no other delegation of authority. The biggest lie in America is church separated from state, because if the Catholic Church issued the delegation of authority, which gave you the authority which you claim to hold the right of this land, you've killed people, stole the land. You're not returning the land, so you're not a justice or a righteous government. So when we speak as, oh, I'm American, then we're holding to the sins of America. We're holding to the violation of enslavement and colonialism. So I never will speak as though I'm one with this system. So then that becomes the mental matrix that we're caught in. See, we have to make a separation of the sheep from the goats. See, because at some point in time, you're going to have to say, where are you? Are you compliant with the system that has enslaved and killed millions of people to steal the land? Or are you objective to that? Because if we say we're objective to Palestine and Israel, then we have to be objective to America. Because this is a Palestine and Israel. This is a taking of land and killing and murdering of people. So what happens is in that aspect, we look at world history, what was going on in world history. They went from the Papa Bull doctrine to enslaving and colonizing. And then based on the trade aspects, because they wanted to control indigenous trade routes, that goes from America to Africa to all over. So now in the controlling of the most abundant trade route, they issued the Berlin Conference. And they create borders throughout Africa and chop up Africa. But in the midst of that process, the last conquest over the whole planet, because they done hit Asia, they done hit everywhere is being colonized. The last conquest was Ethiopia. It was the last sovereign, customary, and I say customary because when we study international law, we have to know what is the first basis of it. Because I hear people today say nationality is the call of the day. There was no nations, people. There was no borders. Borders and nations come from the Berlin Conference. It's a codification of the Papa Bull doctrine. So when we understand that, we got to look at international law and really what is happening. The last conquest was that the Papal Bull doctrine is considered the primacy of Peter. Means that the Pope held that he is the highest authority of God of the Christian empires on earth. And through that, he issued a lien against all of the people. That's how everybody talks about UCC. We're commercialized commodities and we're being traded on. Yes, but the first lien holder is the church, the Catholic Church, under the Papal Bull doctrine. So even though all these brothers and sisters are filing all their UCCs here in America, you still haven't contested the first lien holder. You've just contested the warehouse holders. And just saying, well, I need to hold the stock. I'm the stock. But the property is still held. That's why they say lost at sea. So the property is still held under the Pope. The only person in the world that could have contested the Pope's claim under the primacy of Peter, that he was the rightful ruler over the world, it happened November the 2nd, 1930, when His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie was crowned King of Kings. See, most people think that that's a Rastafari Caribbean thing. So they don't even pay attention that anything that you consider civil rights, human rights, all of that came out of this aspect.
Okay.
It's not religion. So His Imperial Majesty on June 15th, 1935, you read it in the Chicago Defender newspaper, declared that he is the emperor of all of Africa, and he is the king of all Negroes around the world, including those in the United States, removing black people around the world from the jurisdiction of the Pope. Now, after he made this decree, Mussolini invaded Ethiopia. But we think we don't understand what was going on in world wars. But Ethiopia came out victorious against Italy because the fascist system didn't stop with just blacks, it was the world. So now what happens is, August 25th, 1937, His Imperial Majesty, knowing that our colonizers and our enslavers will never give us liberty, will never do us right. He's witnessed that by being in the League of Nations and being in the United Nations and a founding writer for human rights, because there wasn't human rights. There was no indigenous rights. Nobody was talking about human rights prior to this. It was European conquest of the world. So now we got somebody pushing human rights. So His Imperial Majesty was a founder and writer for the United Nations to push human rights. But he didn't stop there. He knew that we as the diaspora, the only way we would have equality would be government to government. So he did the same thing that the Crown of England, the Crown of France and Spain did. He issued a charter to the diaspora. He gave us a constitution so that we could govern ourselves in world affairs and deal with these people government to government.
Awesome. So let me ask a question.
The first stage of the first stage of COINTELPRO was to take us away from saying Ethiopia. If you go back to Marcus Garvey, go back to all of them, go back to Martin Luther King's father, back to Marcus Garvey's father, all of them said Ethiopia. Ethiopia was the last sovereign customary throne in Africa, and it defended our rights. We think it's Rastafari. So you talk about short term, is if you know these rights, you learn to come under that charter and govern yourselves, create your organizations, 25 members, it takes $10 to get your charter. The emperor made it easy.
Sir, can we participate with you, please?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So are you suggesting that a piece of paper is going to make them give us back our land?
I'm not suggesting a piece of paper. The difference is that the emperor signed treaties. It is the only black organization that has economic sanctioning power. It is the only organization that is tied to the AU.
What should we do with them?
What should we do with them? The first thing is educate ourselves of our own power.
Hey, this is Jaya.
Create our own organizing body, create our own juridical courts, deal with affairs at first, and then we take our position through economic sanctions.
Okay, so hold on. Listen, are you a school teacher, a professor?
I'm trying to teach you.
Okay, so can we do the more like interactive conversation? And instead of the student teacher conversation today, it's too many people in the room. While I feel like what you have to say is very valuable, it's just too many people waiting to speak to allow you to take so much time to get to the point.
I'm done. I just wanted to put. Okay. I just was putting that knowledge to say we need to be educated of it. We need to be educated of the Montevideo Convention. We need to be educated in these things in our positions of law so that we know how to challenge the system.
Okay. I don't think these people are playing by the rules, honest to God. I mean, you can take whatever piece of paper you want to take up to these folks is not going to honor it. As a matter of fact, I hear a lot of people say that you can get to a certain point in the sovereignty thing, and they will shut your ass down. So I honestly just don't believe that we're in a state now where you can just walk up to any governing body with a piece of paper and say, give me back my stuff.
No,
now that's just me.
We're not talking about them UCC papers.
Okay, yeah, I don't get, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care what paper you got. I don't think it's going to get you a fuck thing. Now, I'm just being honest, excuse the language, but I feel like it just, it delivers my energy for me a little bit better than me saying they ain't gonna give you nothing. Because I want people to understand that we pass civility. These people have never been civil about how they run this country, and to keep thinking that they will eventually say, hey, thank you for coming up with that paperwork that we thought you weren't going to be able to find. Now we're going to give you back your stuff. I just don't believe it works like that. And so back to where we were in the conversation, which is, do we have time to try to push this out a generation, 2 generations to fix it? Do we see what is currently going on in our government? Do you think we have 2 to 3 generations to wait to fix this?
Yeah, I think you're right, Miss Erica. Hey, Miss Erica, can you bring Miss Fifth up, please?
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, right? The gentleman who was speaking a second ago, I think his name is Ras. He has some very valid points. Extremely valid points. However, what you you said, Eric, in reference to, they will honor your documents and all that stuff. If you recognize the one thing that black people on a whole has never attempted is to unite themselves as one nation. I'm not talking about the Marcus Garvey. I'm not talking about any of those other, persons. But I'm talking about one nation, no matter where you stand on this rock. And I think he has a valid point, but also something that Brett has said, and I'm going to finish right here. I'm going to challenge the narrative that you have in terms of Haile King Selassie. Haile King Selassie derived his power from the kingdom that was on this side of the globe. I'm not sure if you know about this knowledge, but I'm telling you. He derived his power from the kingdom that was on this side of the globe prior to the 1400s. This is why when you go back, you can't find anything past the 1300s and all of these things, because what? They have to make sure they hide that kingdom. He's a derivative of that kingdom. Ethiopia is a derivative of that kingdom. And if you're correct when it comes to the last stronghold was there, and that's the reason to this day Ethiopia is standing where it's standing right now.
Yes, I. Look up my name, my brethren, Ross Lazarus Nazarite. I am a Gullah Geechee. My family are descendants of the Axumite seafarers that were here in America. We already documented that we were here in America way before Christopher Columbus. We are the Amexans. We are the Axumites. So if you look, you will see
Axumites
for the last 20 years.
See an
So my
Axumite.
grandfather, I come from an oral tradition of the Gullah Geechee.
Awesome. So let me ask you how that
Gullah
benefits you in the country where the government has gone rogue, where the government is ran by an international entity, and don't give a care about who. Obviously, none of what you're saying.
The IDF didn't do their best to stop this.
No, what I'm saying, they knew that Hamas are taking hostages, and they choose to bomb whatever these vehicles were going at. And that's further demonstrates things, right? Because if you were to look at the numbers, the death toll after October the 7th, you would find it fluctuating between 1,300 and then 190, and then specifically at the end it's 1,200, right? Why do you think so, Metan? Why the numbers changed? Up and down, up and... It's because they couldn't recognize which one is Israeli and which one is a Hamas. Because their bodies were so burned that they couldn't even differentiate which one is which, right? So that's why the numbers were fluctuating. So Hamas doesn't have weapons that can does this to vehicles or kibbutzes or buildings. They cannot just bomb a building. They didn't have such a weapons. Who does have weapons like that, Meta?
The IDF.
Thank you.
The Jews.
No, I'm saying the IDF. There is why every time?
No, listen. Actually, I don't think that Hamas killed anybody on October 7th. It was all...
No, they killed. I'm not saying...
No, it was the IDF finding an excuse to kill their own people. That's all. It only makes sense.
I'm not saying that Hamas didn't kill anyone, right? And I'm not justifying, Hamas killing civilians, right?
Of course they killed civilians. They kidnapped civilians.
I'm not justifying that. I'm not justifying that. Any civilians should not be killed. But what I'm saying is that, you have to say that part too. Because if I was an Israeli, I would say more people were killed by the IDF, yeah.
I think the IDF just found an excuse to butcher their own people.
Michael, with your permission, I want to interrupt. Noah, you bring here the day of the 7th of October and all the chaos. Nobody know exactly who gave the order Hannibal, who knew about hostages, who did what. Yes, the military already investigated, but we didn't have ועדת חקירה ממלכתית. צלצלת את מתן ועדת חקירה ממלכתית. And as long we didn't have the government have the right people, judges, seriously investigate all this. Nobody knows exactly. So you take a part here, a part there, airplane with a weapon, airplane without weapon. So much chaos it was. You know, it was the 7th and the 8th of October was a fight of signals. Signals, people put a weapon on them, what they have, and go to fight. Some of them without weapon, with a knife, with a stick. What they have in their hands, they go and fight signal. Yes, there was some mistake. It's very well known that the tank bomb where hostages have been killed, the hostages together with terrorists. Yes, there were mistakes. In a chaos, there are mistakes. In a war, in a chaos, there are mistakes. Nobody denied. But people like you, people like Amir, people like Fiaz, go and take every little mistake of the military. And the military did a lot of mistakes. It was a chaos. Nobody controlled the area. Signal people go and fight against the Hamas. Every brave Israeli who's been in the area, put some of them Arabs. Some of them Arabs, so go to fight against the Palestinians. Women Arab. Yes, Michael, what do you want to say?
Almost, you know, this bullshit. I can't imitate your accent, but I'm gonna say this: your accent is fire. Almost, you'll get mad bitches in America, bro. I swear to God. But what you call it? Yeah, bro, it's bullshit, bro. I'm sorry. It's just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, when it comes to the mainstream discourse surrounding, you know, the Gazan people, you find that like there's certain top officials within Israel that will go, oh, it's the entire population. They elected Hamas. They support Hamas. You know, they essentially try to like make this argument that the entire population is Hamas, right? So, you know, it's kind of difficult to determine who's who. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's just their way of, you know, just preparing the international community for what would appear to be civilian deaths. No, that was Hamas. You know, the entire population is just brainwashed. You know, they're taught from young how many Jews to kill. So, you know, these are just bad people in general. That's the message that's been given, like, to the world. So I think it's just one of them situations where, you know, one is honest about killing civilians, and the other one has all this tech jargon. Like, oh, no, you know, we're not targeting the civilian population. I don't think we could prove, like, what their intent was. We can't get inside their brain. But, I mean, it's just routine. It's routine. Like, it don't matter if you're not targeting them. Like, every day, you just happen to be killing civilians. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, even the journalists out there. Routine. You know what I'm saying? Every other day.
That has nothing to do with what Amos said. I don't know what you're saying, but
what he's ranting
it has
about.
nothing. It has nothing to do.
He's venting. He's expressing his feelings. It's fine.
No, okay, you can express your feelings, but can you address what
I
Amos
was
said?
talking objectively and
So,
address what Amos says.
Almost, there's many questions in Israeli society.
Amos didn't just say that Israelis, or what you call it, the IDF makes mistakes. And then he didn't
We're talking about October 7th. Why did he respond?
No, wait. I will let him respond. I will let Michael finish his words. But you must understand, Michael, every crazy person like you can say what you want in my room. I give open and free mind. You're speaking in the last 5 minutes bullshit, but in my room, all the bullshit and all the garbage you're saying, it's okay. In my room. Everybody, so please finish your words and let Mike Matan respond to you.
Just to clarify the question, we were talking about October 7th.
Clarify, I'm not gonna lie. I just want to continue. So when it comes to Amos, right, I recall him saying that Israel or the IDF makes mistakes.
He was talking about why they didn't respond on October 7th right away. That's the topic.
I thought he was talking about civilians dying and them making mistakes.
No, the question is why it took them 6 hours to arrive. Where were they? Why did they stand down? Why were there civilians just running to help when they're October? There was a lot of confusion. And so in Israeli society and outside, Noah was bringing up a lot of these questions that haven't been answered about where was the army on October 7th to save the people? They never came. So that's the question.
No.
Yeah, finish, Mike.
So maybe I came in on the wrong end of
That's
what you were saying.
That's okay. What you said is you can speak your mind.
You can rest your neck. So what you call it? If y'all want to talk about that, then you know what I'm saying, it's clear, it's obvious as day. You know what I'm saying? They want war. They have an appetite for war. You know, that's why they gotta like engineer or manufacture the notion of like Hamas being this very strong, threatening, existential threat. They've disproven that, I think, militarily. Like they've blown that notion out of the water. But nonetheless, they have to continue their campaign of war, right? So a threat has to emerge every few days, you know, a credible threat that might, I don't even know if at this point they can even argue that it's going to threaten the existence of Israel. But yeah, they need to exist in that environment to continue their war effort. They got to do shit like kill negotiators, etc.
Okay, that's one theory. Thank you. George, you have another theory about why they didn't show up on October 7th?
I think I'm done, but it's all good.
Oh, you want to say something else? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Let him go.
George.
Time. I came up to comment on McCandle over here. What's up, dude? Yeah, at one point, does it become this is what Hamas wants?
Everything gets
They're actually like putting their people in the line of fire. And you know, at what point does it become that? Like, is there a point where it's like, do you put blame on that group? Or is it always the group in power in your simplistic worldview?
We're just asking where was the army on October 7th?
Okay. So
Just keep up. We're trying to keep this conversation on track.
And the weak, you know what I'm saying? They're the victims. Like, no. It's one of those situations where, you know, it's clear as day what's happening. Like, nobody's living under a rock. Some of these Hasidic,
I have one for Matan. I'm curious.
some of these Hasidics, you know, they live in their bubble, right? Like, they kind of only interact with each other. They actually believe the shit they're saying, like, is convincing to other people, communities outside of their own. No, like, the whole world is...
Well, Matan, I'm curious, I think there are many, like Amos said, many open questions that have not been answered that the government needs to account for about what happened, where they were on that day. What are the sort of on the street hypotheses about what, are they talking, who do they think, what are the different theories that people are talking about on the ground? Because we heard what Noah thinks, we heard what McCandle thinks, we heard what Amos thinks. I'm curious, just pretend you're out of it. What are people Israelis saying at the kitchen table, at the dinner table?
So there are conspiracy theories as well, like in every big disaster.
Of course.
No surprise. Yeah. And I'll tell you about the conspiracy theory, not about the actual, what actually happened, because as I said, the army they were part of the army that already arrived at the scene, so that makes no sense. But one of the conspiracy theories that there was an inside betrayal. It comes from the actual right wing, like the actual people who support Bibi. They say that the leftists or the pilots or whatever, they didn't show up on purpose just to make Bibi be portrayed as a bad prime minister who because of him the disaster happened. In order to overthrow him and have elections, and so he will not be elected. So this is, you understood, this is one of the conspiracy theories that I heard. It comes from the right.
Have you heard the left-wing one version of that, where Bibi and Sinwar had a relationship? There was some letter between them that there was going to be an uprising in the prison, and maybe some coded language that they were both, this October 7th served both of their interests. And have you read sort of the narrative on that, or have you heard it around your kitchen table?
I heard never had this conspiracy theory in Israel, but there are lots of other conspiracy theories.
I've seen this in the Israeli press. I mean, Israeli media talking about the relationship between Sinwar and Netanyahu that's been longstanding.
No, isn't
Did they have
Netanyahu?
Did the media say that there was a direct connection? That's what they said.
Essentially,
One at a time.
Yeah.
McCandle, can you pause for 1 second?
Palestinian population. Doesn't that video exist?
That what? What video?
Wasn't Netanyahu in some room? I remember seeing some video. He was in some room, and some journalist was told to turn their camera off. And he kept the camera on, and Netanyahu was essentially saying that, he had this grand plan to agitate the Palestinian population so that they could essentially develop a pretext to go out there and punish them. Does that not exist?
I'm not familiar with the BB files. Is that what we're talking about? What are we?
You know what? I'll find the video. Let me mute my mic.
Okay. Okay, Matan, I just was hoping for a full range, across the political spectrum. I think there's different theories about who failed, and I'm sure there's those who pin it on this government. So it's interesting that you're not aware of other narratives besides the right-wing one.
Yeah, so I didn't hear any theories from the left. The closest I heard was people who...
I'll post one in the chat, but keep going.
Yeah, so the closest I've heard was of people who are anti-Israel. And this was an inside job to conquer Gaza because of the Ben Gurion canal, And lots of great. There are gold mines under the Gaza Strip, and Israel wants to dig into these tunnels to get gold. And I've heard so many theories about why it was of Israel's interest to come to Gaza, and but not inside Israel. So
You're saying mainstream, normal, centrists and leftists in Israel don't have any questions about what took 7 hours for the IDF to arrive and all the communication flaws. They assume it was just a mistake. It was all just a mishap.
Of course, they have questions, but at the same time, they are waiting for the committee to, after the war, to assemble and investigate. There were some already published investigation for some settlements with the exact hour that Hamas came and what.
You're in the matrix. We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
It's better, yeah.
So there were some, as I said, part of investigations that were already published. I encourage you to read them. But the mainstream, people in Israel, know that it was the IDF was really confused, and the IDF was shocked, and that was that's the main thinking of most of the people.
Okay, I'm posting in the chat a haaretz of the investigation that has been released, the probe from the IDF. It's not super satisfactory. It just highlights failures and mistakes, but it doesn't really provide an explanation. I don't know. It's still unsensitive.
This is Jaya.
Hi. What would you like to say? Do you want to
I've been
comment?
listening to you on this app for days, and I just think you've got a mind virus and you're very immature.
Okay,
You
Amos.
have a vacuum
Can I
and
move
you
him
haven't
down? He's
given
not
out
a real person,
self-fulfilled.
Amos.
And you're
He's
just creating propaganda to support
sorry,
your
Amos. Keep going
narrative.
down.
No, I change the room. You don't remove from the room. I just change the room. Wait. Hand raising.
No, I already did it. I already changed it, Amos. I moved him
Yeah,
down.
you did
I took
change
care of it.
Yeah,
I'm in
you
charge.
can remove. You don't ask me. You remove anyone.
I didn't remove
Everyone.
I didn't remove anyone.
Anyone you want, you can remove. Don't
Okay.
throw out the room, but to remove.
Okay. Okay, he's just a troll. He's trying to make noise.
Is it because she's a girl?
No, because I make a moderator and you listen to her, and if you come here to interrupt,
Okay.
you will.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yes, she's a moderator, and I trust her. She don't have to ask me to remove. No. She know I don't like it, but you're the moderator, and you do what you want in the room.
Thank you.
Like you say, you change. Buttercup תהיה חופשייה. Yes, I see.
From the river to the sea.
Yeah. Understand what this free.
You heard it here first. So Matan, I'm just trying to press you on this, not because I think there's a conspiracy theory, and I think Noah, I think it creates a vacuum for conspiracy theories when there's not enough data, and I don't know, we don't know, so anything could be possible. And I'm curious why you haven't heard any of the left-wing conspiracies.
After 2 years, you don't have enough data.
Yeah.
Give me
Anybody Hebrew?
You know, there's another story that the data is surprisingly slim. Like, you know, the story of... Sorry?
No one speaks Hebrew?
We all speak Hebrew. I do. And
בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ.
wow, kol hakavod.
Oh my God. No doubt. All right, so look, you can check this video out yourself, all right? It's on Johnny Harris's YouTube channel. I don't speak Hebrew, but, you know, thankfully you guys do, so you'll understand what he's saying regardless of the translation. Here.
That the Israeli government had signed with the Palestinians. That because he disagreed with them, he wanted to sabotage them because he was so against a Palestinian state or any form of Palestinian autonomy in this land. And then he goes on to explain what his real thinking is on the situation.
All right, I think the volume on the audio surrounding Netanyahu is very low, but if you go to like 12 minutes and 6 seconds on the video, it's literally Johnny Harris. That's the YouTube channel. All right, there's a clip of Netanyahu in a room. He's wearing a white shirt, right? Oh no, I'm lying. He's wearing a black shirt. Okay, he's wearing a black shirt. He looks a lot younger. All right, and he says, first and foremost, what we must do is hit them hard. He said, the situation isn't unbearable as of this moment. And essentially, you know, he reveals that his intention is to agitate them because he wants to decimate the Palestinian Authority at this time. You know, so when that, mind you, these were his private thoughts. He told the journalist to turn off a camera. The journalist didn't turn off the camera. They kept it on and recorded him.
Got it.
And he basically revealed that, you know, he's conspiring to agitate a population of people. So, you know, things like October 7th or Antifadas, they don't really seem like that much of a surprise when this is what Israeli leadership is. But check the video out yourself. Johnny Harris, 12 minutes and 6 seconds. The name of the video is How Benjamin Netanyahu Relies on Hamas.
There's a more academic analysis that I can share. There's a book that's written by an Israeli called The Road to October 7. I think his name is Raz, and he basically traced the history between Hamas and Netanyahu and how, you know, they've both served each other's over the years.
I call it accurate.
What? Inaccurate? It's reinforcing what you just said, McKendall, that Hamas and Netanyahu have supported each other over the years because their interests are aligned. So Netanyahu has propped up Hamas, the terror group, to sow chaos to prevent a Palestinian state. This is the strategy.
what you call it? I didn't call it inaccurate. I said I call it accurate. You call it more academic. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. You have a leader who is provoking people, right? He doesn't care for these people to establish their sovereignty. So he wants to bait them into crashing out. That's essentially what he's saying in the video. We're going to bait them into crashing out by, applying a relentless pressure on these people. And then October 7th happens, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, like what's wrong with these people? We treat them so well. How? This is your leader. This is your leader talking like this. But what do I know? So all of you guys are from Israel?
No, just Amos is from Israel. Where are you from, Kendall?
I don't know if I want to reveal that, but I'm from the
Northeast, West, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, East Coast.
Okay, me too. Nice. We're neighbors.
Sure. Or
Are you East Coast or West Coast, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm the king of the West Coast, and if you don't know, you do now.
Oh yeah. One more thing. Some Israeli chick, she was on CNN, and she was like, yo, apparently she was some kind of border agent. I'm not sure in what capacity, but she did some sort of monitoring out there. And she was explaining to Western media that she was reporting signs of activity. And to make a long story short, her reports weren't taken seriously. Like time and time again, they weren't taken seriously. And, October 7th happened. And somehow the Israeli state was unprepared, despite having information ahead of time that, there may be a threat emerging on their borders. I could post that link. That's easily findable. She's speaking in English too. You familiar with that?
Sorry, can you repeat again in short what you were saying?
No, I'm not wasting my breath.
No worries. I'm trying to get that article that people are asking for in the chat of the relationship between Netanyahu and there's a.
Is it an article or is it a book?
Well, he wrote a book, but here he's trying to write a synopsis of it in Haaretz. He's summarizing his book about the relationship between Hamas and Netanyahu, how they serve each other. I just posted removed the paywall on this thing if anyone wants to read it. I'll just read like a few lines so people can get a,
Can you wait and read after I say some words?
Of course.
Start coming late in Israel. Still working tomorrow. Let's see how long I would stay in the room, but of course the room is yours. You feel what you want to do, you do here. So what I want to say, listen, after the rally taking weight, more and more people, somebody here, what's happened today in Spain, in the bicycle race, more and more countries announced that they will not go to the universe where Israeli take place. And Israel is starboard still going inside Gaza. Don't want to go to any agreement. Yes, any agreement. Idea of release Gaza. And right now, I become every day more and more pessimist. Especially when I see Jintip in my room, I become more pessimistic. And I see darkness, darkness. The only one is the last card that I believe in is Donald Trump. Donald Trump can change all the situation. And that American president, that we as the Israelis are so suffering from the government, want Donald Trump to come and save us from Bibi Netanyahu and Smotrich. I think Israel is the most lowest position ever have been. And okay, we destroy Gaza, we win, we kill all the leaders, we are strong, but
Amos, you want regime change?
When Amos is speaking, you mute your mic.
Get off his dick. He ain't even say nothing.
it's okay. You can show anyone you want from the room who bothering me. You can show him the way to the audience down. See, it's okay. Michael is laughing and think he's not laughing anymore.
Why not me, Amos?
This is like
Okay.
people have to respect me in my room. You know, they don't let me speak in the Israelis' room. They don't let me speak. So I open my own room and listen. I have more than minion in my room. I can come. I have minion men. I can go to a synagogue now. What I wanted is a minion, and I have minion. And more and more people see my rooms. They go in. I don't need Israelis. I don't need Palestinians. They're coming here from all over the world. I have a full room, comparing with any Palestinian or Israeli room. And I'm very satisfaction from what I see. So now I become more and more tired. I go to sleep. Have a good night. Thank you everybody for coming here. This room is going. This Buttercup, she will lead. I like her. I give her all the respect.
Okay. I'll take care of your room for you. Laila Tov. Shana Tova.
Here I don't. Soon I will leave.
Okay. Did you guys hear the news that like the IDF was warning that this Gaza operation could, before they warned the Gaza City operation could kill the hostages? Now they're saying it's definite. They will kill some of the hostages. If the Gaza City operation continues, more hostages. I read that IDF military leaders are warning that hostages will die. There's no question. This is a decision that was made by the government almost, no? To kill the hostages. This time it's the most close they came to actively pulling the trigger.
Well, don't ask me. Don't ask me.
Depressing, I know.
It's my thing. Yes, right now it seems that the government went in this direction against all the advice, military advice. Nobody knows where. Yes.
It's a dark, dark day.
They will kill the hostages, and I'll tell you more. The day after they kill the hostages, they put simple clothes on them and go inside the civilians. Nobody can know who is who. 2 million people that will be inside.
They'll never be found. You'll never find the bodies, you're saying, because they could be civilians.
Exactly.
Monica, what if I tell you that?
I didn't say it. Almo said it. It wasn't me. I'm the messenger.
No, but I'm asking you. What if I tell you that for every terrorist that is released, there will be an innocent Israeli that dies? Would you make a deal? For that?
This is a dark thought experiment, and we're not doing it on the day that the hostages are probably dying. Like, this is very dark. The overall, the way to peace.
Okay, but I'm asking a hard question.
It's a hypothesis that's not realistic according to my view of the conflict. It rejects the premise that is perpetuating violence, is an illegal occupation for 70 years, a cruel, violent, inhumane occupation for 70 years, and this sort of mowing the lawn policy that has created a whole generation of kids that feel that they have no choice, but they're forcing kids into Hamas's arms. And if you think,
So do you think it was an occupation for 70 years?
no, obviously, but I'm saying that, well, there was illegal aspects of it for since the '67 war, right?
Okay, but who did Israel occupy Gaza from?
Okay. Matan, this is like a very convenient hypothesis that's not rooted in reality, so I don't want to entertain it.
Okay, but it's not pathetic. It is real, actually.
There's no way to know that first of all, Israel is perfectly.
Actually, the fact that you say it's a hypothesis makes me, I don't know, makes me think that I don't
Okay, so
know
let me
disconnected
respond.
from reality, or
I just want to respond in a different way, Matan. First of all, let's discount the fact that most of the Israeli people say we should release the hostages even at a high cost, which means releasing even killers. Even the victims of October 7 say their family members' killers should be released in order to free the hostages. This is the widespread view in Israel. You know this, Matan, because you're there. But put aside, Israel is perfectly capable of they've been doing targeted killings when there's no war. There's nothing stopping them from killing the convicted killer after they release the hostages. They've made really clear that the goal here is to deprioritize the hostages. This hypothesis that every single person that's released is going to kill another Israeli is not factual, because 90% of them,
but it did happen.
Yes, it has happened. It has happened,
Yes.
but it hasn't. But the people in prisons who
So
are
it won't happen in the future?
well, now that Hamas has been decimated and their infrastructure has been decimated, and the fact that we know October 7, circling back to the beginning of this conversation, was probably preventable. But there were huge mistakes and still outstanding questions about really what happened and who dropped the ball, right? Given that it was preventable, and given that Hamas's infrastructure have largely been dismantled, and virtually every current and former military chief in Israel says that anything militarily that can be accomplished will be accomplished, and given that Yoav Gallant, who's firing, brought out the biggest protest Israel has seen in years, says that this war could have ended a year ago at a smaller price and released all the hostages at a smaller price over a year ago, and given that.
Wait, what did you say about Yoav Gallant? I'm curious.
Yoav Gallant said.
No, but what did you say about him?
That his firing brought out one of the largest protests in Israel in the last year.
Okay.
And so, and he says, so that shows he's not some fringe, he has popularity in the Israeli public and credibility. He's claimed that this war could have ended a year ago at a lower cost, right? And given that virtually every former military chief of staff and defense minister has said that nothing more can be accomplished, just more people are going to die and risk the hostages. Given that the IDF himself, Zamir, has advised to take the fucking deal before this Qatar thing. Given that the Mossad refused to conduct the strike because they thought it was counterproductive to Israel's interests. Given that, I can go on and on and on, right? All of these things mean that even if people from Hamas are released that have blood on their hands, they can be pursued by Israel till the end of time. Israel has no problem bombing any fucking country, as they've made clear. So it's not like they're safe just because Israel.
It's not any fucking country. No, that's not true.
Okay, well
It's a country which
harbors them.
Which has a headquarters of the head of Hamas. It's not any country. It's not Zimbabwe or something. So
it's possible some of them will flee, but then they're not a problem. And if they stick around in these countries that are nearby, or they pose a threat to Israel, Israel will come after them. The Mossad is present in many parts of the world, and it's not like they're completely safe. So you do not trust the IDF to go after them after they're released from prison? What?
I don't know, because Hamas is going to, every year they improve their technology, their tactics, whatever.
and you're assuming that their tactics is going to be the same, and you have to foresee.
The day after plan that Netanyahu has refused to plan for the last 2 years, against the advice of all the military establishment in Israel, right? That day after plan would have put in place a government that would have prevented them from rebuilding their military capabilities, right?
Okay, so the name will not be Hamas, it will be Shamas, whatever. It will be
Okay.
something else.
Right. And so you're fearing even another terrorist organization will crop up if whatever the new government comes up fails.
Of course.
So then what does it make a difference if people are released from prison or not? If you think that, committing the devastation that Israel did in Gaza is going to spawn a new terrorist group, what's the difference about the handful of people that they released from prison that they have to go after, chase down afterwards? That's their concerns are much bigger than who they release from prison to get their hostages back. And given that releasing the hostages, killing the hostages is going to be such a blow to the morale in their country, and also its standing and also just its perception in the world as a country that represents and defends its people. It undermines everything that Israel stands for. I don't know. I'm not even Israeli. I don't understand.
I have a question. Where did you get it that Israel is going to kill the hostages?
So I saw online that it's the closest they're coming to directly pulling the trigger. Basically, some IDF leadership, I think it was Times of Israel, I can't remember, it was time. I'll put a link in the chat, but they basically.
Why are you stuttering?
Fuck off. Basically, I will put a link in the chat. Previously.
Did you really find the source, or I don't know, you made it up?
Come on. All right, I'll find the source. I'm stop talking about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So anyway, sorry.
But in short, what they're saying is that previously they warned that it would be dangerous, and now they're saying it's certain that some people will die. It was TV, it was Israeli TV, it was Khan TV. I'll share it in the chat.
I don't know, I find it really weird because most of the hostages that are underground in the tunnels, and
all right, I'm gonna play it in Hebrew, and those of us who speak Hebrew will understand what they're saying, okay?
Okay.
יכולה לסכן את חיי. מגיעים ראשי מערכת הביטחון ואומרים לראש הממשלה את הדבר הבא: אנחנו אמרנו לך בעבר שהפעולה בעיר עזה, מה שנקרא מרכבות גדעון ב', יכולה לסכן את חיי חטופים. הפעם אנחנו נגיד שהיא בהכרח תביא להרג של חלק מהחטופים, כך אומרים בכירים במערכת הביטחון לראש הממשלה, שאומר בכל זאת אנחנו מחליטים על הפעולה הזאת שתצא לפועל בשבוע הבא. אבל
You're warning him about the. Did you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're basically now upgrading their warning that it's inevitable. The hostages will die if this operation continues, right? Is that what you understood?
Yes, I did understand that, but on the contrary, I also heard something of that is contradicting that. That whenever the intelligence corps of the IDF see and understand that there is a hostage at a certain location, they won't bomb there. They'll be careful. And I will look it up as well here to show you that.
Is it a recent story? Because it seems like the standards shift a lot.
Yes. I'll look it up as well.
And let's not forget that Hamas has made very clear that when the IDF approaches, they will kill hostages. That's their policy.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me translate that. So the head of the head of the operations of Amman, the intelligence corps, said that towards the occupation of Gaza City, Merkavot Gideon Chariot's stage 2, he said, whenever we have suspicions that we might endanger hostages, we will not do so.
Can you post a link?
Yeah.
This is a statement from the IDF.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so now we have conflicting information, the public statement of the IDF and the internal information that they're sharing. Different.
True.
So we have to.
And also, by the way, this is also from Khan, the same channel, the same media outlet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So often there's a public-facing statements, and then internally there's a discussion, dialogue, right? And in my opinion, the political outward-facing statements is usually, one that's for public relations reasons, and the internal one is more likely to be, more accurate and nuanced. No.
The internal one, you said?
Yeah, what they're happening internally, the conversations happening internally. That the downside of it is most of these are leaked, so we don't know who's leaking them and what their motivations. But conversations happening internally are more likely to reflect reality than external statements to try to placate the hostages families who are really upset right now.
Okay, so I give you the link. It's in Hebrew. It's like two minutes long, more than that. So yeah, I believe that Netanyahu, or the head of, or the chief of staff, or whoever is in charge of doing that, let's say Benjamin Netanyahu, he gets his information from the intelligence corps, and this is what they tell him, and this is how he proceeds. This is how he decides whether to proceed or not.
So we have seen cases in the past where the IDF has disregarded intelligence. There was a very thorough investigation of cases where they had intelligence of the presence of hostages and they continued anyway. Specifically in the case of the 6 that were executed, they had intelligence from that Bedouin, what's his name, hostage who was released. He told them he had heard people speak Hebrew nearby, and that was where they were being held. And so they disregarded intelligence and approached anyway, and then the hostages were killed in that case. And there were other situations where hostages were killed by.
Didn't that happen before? Like the hostages were killed before he was released?
About 20 hostages were killed in relation to IDF operations.
No, but specifically, I'm talking about the case where the Bedouin, the Arabic speaking hostage was released after they were killed. No,
before.
Okay.
They stumbled upon him, if you remember, and he told them how to disarm the booby traps, and then they rescued him. He was alone, and he told them that he had heard Hebrew speaking. And it was one of two examples that were reported where the IDF had intelligence that maybe didn't meet their threshold for avoiding the area, and the hostages turned out to be very close to where he was, and he had reported hearing Hebrew spoken.
Okay, so of course you have your own opinion and your own worldview of the situation of mine, and like of course you're going to think that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to proceed without releasing the hostages or whatever. So I cannot disagree on that. And I do believe that they will not operate in areas where the hostages are actually located.
And the chat, I'm posting a link to a unpaywalled Haaretz article where they identify 50 hostages that were endangered by IDF operations over the course of the war. I'm just going to read a few passages. If you, I mean, or don't, you guys can read it yourselves.
Yeah, when I read, okay, it's okay.
Okay. The IDF claims it's doing everything in its power to prevent harming hostages held by Hamas. Yet, from the start of the war, Israeli military operations have repeatedly placed their lives at risk, killing at least 20. Where there's no information about hostages' presence, the attack proceeds according to IDF source. According to the person, Bar was unequivocal, saying there's no. Okay, so and then they highlight specific examples. So 20 hostages died and 54 were endangered by IDF. Okay, let me find one where they get intelligence and disregarded it. Since October 7, IDF has made extensive efforts to continuously track the hostages' locations, partly to minimize Israeli fire near them. However, a Haaretz investigation reveals that during 601 days of war, multiple IDF investigation operations in Gaza endangered the life of at least 54 hostages, 20 of them killed as a result, some in airstrikes, other executed by their captors due to military activity close to their whereabouts. The data is drawn by conversations. Reported death counts are based on IDF investigations and do not include 4 hostages whose circumstances of death in captivity remain unclear. According to military, hundreds of strikes have been avoided due to concerns about proximity of hostages. However, they do authorize strikes at a quote-unquote safe distance of several hundred meters, determined by the size and type of munitions used. This depends on having reliable intelligence about the hostages' whereabouts. The more strikes there are, the greater the risk.
Okay, so thank you. That kind of contradict what you said,
No,
because it says.
Don't cut me off because I'm doing both sides. I'm presenting your arguments, okay? And then I'm going to read mine. Don't cut me off after I read the Army's position, okay? The more strikes there are, the greater the risks, at another military source, adding that there is no information. When there is no information about a hostage's presence, the attack proceeds. Once it is known that there is a risk to hostages, Army officials are tasked with halting the strike. The source acknowledged that the war is unpredictable and intelligence is accurate only at the moment it is received. Generally, this is the IDF's position. Now I'm going to find other positions.
Okay, but can I cut you off now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So actually, what it means is that I believe that they have information, like together with the US, they have information about all the hostages, okay? Mm-hmm. Where in their locations and whereabouts. So it says right there that when there is no information, there is no information about hostages present.
This is the official statement, and then what precedes is accounts of people who say, no, they did endanger us. They didn't, they disregarded, the entire article focuses on.
No, I'm talking about the second one. I'm talking about the counter, the one that contradicts that.
I didn't read all contradict it.
No, you read that. It says the more strikes there are.
That was still the IDF's official position. It's not what the people are saying on the ground.
Okay.
So give me a second. I'll find a representative quote that would highlight the other position. Okay, that position of the hostages' families.
Of the hostages' families? What information do they have? Like, the only information they have is from the IDF.
Well, so there's been questions.
Sure, of course there are questions, but they are not the ones who actually have the data on the ground. Mm-hmm. I mean, how can they, I don't know, if they collect information or intelligence on what's going on in Gaza and they contradict what intelligence of the IDF has, then okay, I'll say.
Okay, here's Meirav Svirsky, Itai's sister. The Army, I think he was killed by gases related to a bomb,
Is it the same article?
Yes. So she says, the Army officials admitted that they hadn't known they were there and told us the procedures changed as a result. They explicitly acknowledged that they hadn't conducted a thorough check. We were told the hostages were being protected and that their locations were known, and that no strikes would be carried out in areas where hostages were present, and that if a strike was necessary, it would be preceded by a rigorous review. That didn't happen. You can't protect the lives of hostages while fighting is taking place right above their head. This is precisely where the objectives of the war come into conflict. The army isn't telling soldiers the full truth. Even when that truth is plainly visible to the public, the soldiers need to know it, because if their actions result in the death of hostages, they're the ones who bear the burden. So Sharabi and Spirsky, that was the one that I think they were kept with what's her name? Noah Argamani?
Yeah.
And so there was some... Okay, it is estimated that 6 hostages were executed by their captors in response to the strike near the tunnel. However, the IDF believes that even if they had not been murdered, they would have died from inhaling toxic gases released by the bombings, gases that also killed their captors. A few months earlier, there were others that died of these gases. Okay. Okay, I don't think it's talking about the released. Okay.
Okay, it's again. Let's go back to the article, the paragraph where the army officials admitted they hadn't known where they were and told us that procedures were changed as a result. Admiral Svirsky, Itai's sister, the electricity acknowledged that they hadn't conducted a thorough enough check. We were told the hostages were being protected, blah, blah, blah. So, don't you think that the IDF could sometimes make mistakes, make a mistake like they previously did?
Yeah, but this is they're counting 54 mistakes, basically, of 200 hostages. That's like a very high mistake rate, no?
For every hostage that was killed...
No, 20 were killed. 20 were killed as a result of IDF action, they're claiming in this article. And then 54 were endangered by IDF activity. So it's not clear how much they had intelligence to prevent it.
What do you mean endangered? Were they killed?
They were killed. They were killed as a result of direct IDF activity. Yeah, like bombs.
Where did you get this number? The 54.
It's in the headline. It's in the headline. 54 were endangered and 20 were killed. It's in the headline of the article I shared.
Okay, what does it mean endangered?
Okay, we can go back to it.
I mean, endangered, everyone in them is endangered because they're in Gaza.
Okay.
They're hostage by Hamas.
All right, I'll read it again.
And,
how do we define it?
Okay.
Okay, on the evening of April 7th, Air Force Commander had a tense meeting about trying to dissuade him from opposing the war in Gaza. Former also brought...
Okay, this is candidate Congressman John Kitover. This is another petition onboarding room. Hope you enjoy it.
It's crazy because Haaretz said
John Kitover, Illinois.
The number 54 came from
to follow the campaign of John Kitover rap.
Hostages
Thank you so much.
That were at the same date on
This is a
May
20-minute
2025. So it says that the actions by Israel's army endangered the lives of at least 54 Gaza hostages. And it completely ignores the fact.
Look at the next paragraph. They say how they got the data. They talk to hostages.
No, but it completely ignores the fact. They're hypocrite. They completely ignore the fact that they are actually endangered because they are held captive by Hamas, and they blame Israel for that. Don't you think that this is a little bit crazy, or like it's the complete opposite of what's going on?
Okay, this is candidate Congressman John Kitover. This is another petition onboarding room.
And it's misleading, like purposely misleading.
I mean, you don't think that they're endangered by this, like,
they're endangered because Hamas does not release them. This is why
there's no point in having conversation. And the next, all right, well, I'll take that. Maybe they overstated how Haaretz is biased, right? Let's go to the next one. Times of Israel. Hostage told rescuers he heard Hebrew in the nearby tunnel, but he was ignored. The IDF didn't adapt its operations in Rafah, even after Farhan Kadi tipped off IDF and Shin Bet to brief her.
Just let it run. Fuck it. Do it live.
Good evening. How are you? Hey, Andre, good evening. Okay, this is a 20-minute onboarding campaign. Thanks for joining us, Andre. Heather's already been through this onboarding. I guess we can wait till your neighbor comes. Basically, we just quickly do a round robin introduction. Then we state what our 3 priorities would be if we were a president, and then we talk about next steps for petition gathering, which I know you've already done. So thanks so much for all your help. So.
Don't come standing by me and make that goofy noise. No, it's not.
Right. Now it will. All right.
There you go.
There we go. Oh.
Just your neighbor a few more minutes, and then we'll get started.
No problem.
You sound like you got a helicopter. There you are. Wait, did you say there you are?
Do you know the profile of your? Do you know the profile of your neighbor? Did she message you?
I know. Who? Just very quick.
Gina's having any technical difficulties, but Andre, if you want to just do this onboarding real quick, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your experience, yes?
My name's Andre Tucker. My experience was meeting a lot of new people and seeing their views and opinion on the world.
Remember anything that they told you about any opinions, when you're getting signatures?
Sorry, what did he say? My phone kind of cut out on that.
Just any opinions, when I get signatures on petitions, I always ask people what would their priorities be, and I write it on the back.
Oh yeah, well I wasn't told to do that, but yeah, well most of them would talk about more like to get rid of world hunger and get rid of money because money is pretty much evil and stuff like that. It doesn't really help the majority of the world. We can all really work together and have a better community that way than to put us against each other,
Okay. Did you get a message back from your neighbor? I don't see her in the room.
No, I didn't get anything. Did you get anything, Heather?
No, we're almost back over there. We went to the gas station, which is right behind the house, so we'll be there in a minute, and I'll see what's going on with their phone.
Okay, cool.
Turn jog returning it because I don't want that echo.
You can turn down the volume on your phone if you want and mute up. She's one phone, but yeah, just to introduce myself, I'm running in Rockford, Peoria, Bloomington Normal, Heckins, Quincy. It's Illinois District 16 against Darren LaHood, who's created over $20 trillion in debt. He demanded everybody get vaccinated. You can't go back to work, and he gave over $5 billion to Big Pharma on his behalf. He's a borrower and a spender, and we are going to hopefully crutch his can-kicking ways of debt and return pragmatic spending to government. The first two acts I'd like to pass is a defund the Big Beautiful Bill Act, as well as a balanced budget act. I don't think we should spend more than we take in taxes. We take in $5 trillion a year, but we spend $7.2 trillion a year, and we're $37 trillion in debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So until the government stops ripping us off, I don't think we're ever going to be on a good foot. Those are two of my big political positions, and I thank you guys for doing this. You guys are doing terrific work out in Rockford, and I hope you guys can get at least 100 signatures, maybe within the next 48 hours. And that'll bring in $150 for you two. And I hope you guys enjoy it for some nice dinners. And I hope you meet some lovely people and ask them what their priorities would be and write it on the back of that petition. And when you mail me those petitions, I'll be able to put together a list of all the priorities that you heard over the course of the next couple weeks.
See, hang on. All right. Oh, my phone knows what's going on. She couldn't get the verification code to her phone on the number that she has.
Yeah, because I would have to pay. It's a premium feature.
Website text numbers. You can just pull any number they have on there, put that in Clubhouse, remove the one. And then it'll update, refresh that page. It'll post that Clubhouse number on there, and then you can download the app and create a profile for free. You don't need it.
Okay. All right. So put the number. Okay, there's a new number for this one. Go back and do a different number. All right. You're gonna do 226. 785 4013.
What's that next? Enter password.
Password. Pick one.
Let's make it easy.
Yeah.
Pick a password in Clubhouse. What you want to do is you're going to get a one-time code sent back to that website where you refresh, and it'll show the code, and then you put the code into Clubhouse. And again, you have to remove the 1 in front of the area code when putting it in.
They keep telling me that they sent me a fucking verification code on my email, but they didn't.
I'm not going to send you a code to an email. The code is going to be texted back to that text-numbers website, whichever number you used. Refresh that page, and it'll post the Clubhouse password for one-time code.
You want a different number?
Resend it. It wasn't error.
You can try a different number.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. You have so many damn pages. Pull that back up.
Okay. Pull up Clubhouse?
Yes. Well, no. Yeah, I guess pull up back up Clubhouse because I got the number on my phone for you. Okay.
They keep going back to this.
Email you the inbox. Let's see. Let's see. With that temporary number thing, I have to sign up for it or anything to use it, or can we just use the number that's given?
Choose the number that's given and remove the 1 from the front and the area code.
Right, and it says it sent her a code or emailed the code to that number, but it hasn't showed up on my phone yet.
It's not going to. It's going to show up on that website. You're going to refresh the page, and at the top of that page, it'll show you the code that was sent to that telephone.
What?
Once you pull that number and you plug it into Clubhouse, refresh that page, and that page on text-numbers will have the Clubhouse code on it.
Okay, let me check my email one more time. Maybe this time I sent it.
It's got nothing to do with it.
It's not going to go to your regular.
Yeah, that's what it said.
It's going to go to that number, but it's not going to go to your shit. It's not tied to anything for you, honey.
I don't know, folks. This time I get this phone fixed.
That's all good. We'll figure it out. You just take a minute.
Take a second, and you may have to restart the Clubhouse app in order to re-put the number in to get it to send back to your website, that text-number.
Well, the number that's come, like I clicked the little link that you gave me for the temporary number thing. Okay, so I gave her the number. All right, so she put it in there, but it said it sent her a code, but I had refreshed it by then. So now we're trying to get back on the Clubhouse to get her a different number.
Refreshing the text-numbers, see if it sent the code there. And if you want to take a screenshot of that page and send it to me, because there is a lot of info on there, maybe you can't see it, but you can also try it with a new number and just refresh Clubhouse and then refresh the text-numbers after you put the telephone.
Like exit out of the app. Go back into the app. All right. The new number 226 78 45013. Okay, there we go.
Refresh the text-numbers website, and it should show you what the Clubhouse code.
Got a WhatsApp code that shows up at the bottom. Nothing from that yet. Refresh it. Says something about.
because I clicked on access to my phone number,
Mm-hmm.
and when they asked me for my email address.
Put in there, it's tied to anything. Not yet.
All right. Still nothing. Yeah, it's not giving me anything for Clubhouse.
Just reset Clubhouse, pick a different number, and try it one more time.
So do you want me to keep her on the same number or give her a different number?
With a different number.
Number 613 5199 184. I get it now. I understand it.
So hit the browser refresh, and then it should pop up there with Clubhouse code to put into the Clubhouse app.
No, it's not saying any messages found under that number on that site.
It should appear at the top of the list of the other text messages that number is received.
Yeah, nothing's there. It says no messages found. I didn't even hear you say anything.
We can try it again another day. It's not the end of the world, but this is just one way that everybody, kind of does a team building experience on getting.
Well, she is right here, so she can still talk through mine until we get hers working.
Yeah, I'd be happy to pay you to do signatures today if you want, and then the next time if we could try it again, because I would like everybody to be able to independently join the conference call, so everybody could be at home and no need to get together in the future. So basically, if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us your list of priorities if you were the president of the United States.
Oh my God. Considering I'm pretty indifferent currently when it comes to politics, but I'm Gina, and my priorities would be getting the economy fixed.
Okay, fantastic. So you're going to meet a lot of people out there today that, obviously they're left or right or center. And I hope, you just bring a positive vibration with you and ask everybody who signs to sign as if somebody could read it, because every signature that is, not visible or can't be read will be challenged and removed. So you'll really be wasting your time if the signature isn't clear and concise. So just ask politely, please sign as if somebody could read it, and they'll slow down a little bit and thank them and maybe even hug them and, just wish them health, wealth, love, and peace of mind. And hopefully we can have, an improved economy for everyone, if that's your priority. And ask people after they sign, what is your priorities? And write it on the back of the petition, just put a little note. And that's really all you got to do for the campaign.
Alrighty. That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, and I can pay you $1.50 a signature. I know it's not much. It can take a lot of time and effort signature, but go to high volume places, farmers markets, train stop, tailgates. If there's a football game, high school game, or college game, or somewhere, wherever there are people, you're obviously going to get more signatures. The max budget is 100 signatures, so the most I can pay is $150 total. And you will be required to mail me the petitions with a forever stamp. You know, I'd be happy to pay you for the stamp as well.
That's not a problem. I just got stamps.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate it. Do you have any questions, comments, or opinions you'd like to share with me?
Not at this time.
Okay, Gina, Heather, Andre, thank you so much. This has been another great onboarding, and I hope you can get the Clubhouse app to download in the future so we can have a conference call. We can also use this app to do fundraising. There's a lot of political people on here, and they would love to hear your experiences. And anything we fundraise from this app that gets sent to the campaign, I'll send right back to you. And I thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great evening. Just send me any text messages to send me screenshots, and I wish you guys all the blessing. God bless you, and I hope you guys have a fantastic.
All right,
You too.
Great. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Gina. Take care. Have a great evening.
Yep, you too.
And gentlemen, please. This is a room for Dominics. And if you're coming up here to abuse Dominics,
Sultan, man, shut up. It's
I'm
not one nothing.
I just don't do it too personal. Just leave it. I just don't make it too personal. That's a general.
let him just go down and wait. So let us just talk normal because Dominic own the rooms and you cannot come up here and abuse him. If you come up here to discuss, all right? But abusive language is not allowed, gentlemen. What gave you the right to abuse somebody else in his own room?
You know the problem. The problem is
what kind of characters is this, Ajama? Why people are so? If you don't agree with the topic, you just argue your topic without abusing Dominic and so forth. That's not the case, Ajama. And then Janubin, we are one people. All right. Dominic came up with his opinion. If you have a country, a counter argument, what he said, you just argue without abusing him and all this kind of thing. Then let us be honest, Ejma. Let us be honest to one another.
Have you seen that?
Dominic sometimes.
He will say here, he will say here, do you think this is not obvious? He will say here, calling it He's saying it. Is that obvious?
No, the name Nyam Nyam, I'm talking about the name Nyam Nyam. No, it's not a bad name. They is not a bad name. They either Morley, not a bad name. They use him with Rutan. That's all you know what. It's not a bit. And cool when you are to live to look there. When you got your look at the why.
He's abusing name.
Yeah, what is abusing? Because now after you support and the time you to become abused. No, it's not abuse. No.
No, it's not abuse.
We stop calling them
No, it's not abuse. It's not abuse. Why go another was the father?
Like they call us in our Jange is not abuse.
How many are you looking at Jengay, Mount Mariani,
No, it's not What about you? They are abuse. Yam Yam is not abuse. Don't take to be a wrong way.
Yam Yam is abuse.
What kind of abuse is abuse?
Call them Equatorian, they're not Yam Yam, they're Equatorian.
Yam Yam is not abuse. Only Yam Yam Katulu in abuse. Okay, then I'll go to Juba. Only
Yam Yam abuse, Jengay is abuse.
Okay, so you mean what you're saying and then?
Yeah, how do you call Equatoria? How do you call
Equatorians and then call
No, Arabs. In one language. Rutan bitan what?
Yam Yam came from Europe because they didn't know Equatorian. Leave it alone.
That one is abuse, no problem. We promote. Yam Yam, they are all over town. Go and talk to our grandfather. They will tell you why you create
It's
them.
mean they talk fast. That's where the name Nyam Nyam come from. Just like the way we call Murule Jebe. It's not a business name. I don't know why people.
Koko is the main chat people according to research that I learned. That name was created by it's like Buny. When they call them Buny because they just
people from Robo is it obvious? Go and they make you
it's not fast talking, it's because they're short. And the long story. But now the people turn it the people turn it in the wrong way because they say yam yam that people who love to food, but it's not the way that they created before. That means that they're short people.
Dominic, let us organize the room. Let us organize the room. Let us just go one by one so that people will contribute, ladies and gentlemen. It was Kalman who was talking. So Kalman, can you finish your speech so that the line move? And let us not abuse one another, Rajama. Let us benefit from the topics. Let's go.
My friend Sultan is finally put your foot down tonight, eh? Hey, I'm scared. Finally. So it's about time you take your leadership and instead of running away. Congratulations.
Okay.
Now you're really South Sudanese. Thank you. Anyway,
Okay, even I cannot contribute to this topic because this topic does not make any sense to me, and it does not even, give me a chance to elaborate more because I can see the topic doesn't have any meaning. So it is just the topic being created for us to come and argue and making this, this useless statement. That is for me. I don't contribute in such, topic that does not have any meaning to me as a person, let alone the audience. So I will not contribute to this topic. I'll just go down. I just came here to ask him those questions, and I figure out who he is now, and I will not leave him alone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so in fact, the line should start with me because you guys distract me a lot. I did not come to conclusion. I did not finish. Dominic, jump up and down.
Okay. You have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, Dominic, don't jump me again, please. Let me express myself. Now, to me, and the topic, I did agree that the switch of acting by president or chairperson in IO is relevant, personal perspective to me, because why he recalled back the incident that happened in 2013 to call for justice, and this is what we are always complaining about. If we knew that there's some certain thing that happened in their lives, and the citizen regroup themselves and say what has happened, we condemn it. And they knew that they're the citizen. So even the victim can have a sense that the acknowledgement that have been overthrown to them by throwing to them or sent to them the condolence word in other ways. They could put comfort on them. It's not a big deal. In a way that the matter that Dominic argued that in case of NAS and the IO, why not? They don't have allies. If you knew that you have a common enemy, you need to regroup yourself, reorganize. It doesn't mean that we yet taking over the leadership from the Perth by president. Nevertheless, even his speech yesterday, he did acknowledge his boss. So any political term that's circumstance where you see if you cannot achieve this, you go this. As you see now the tactic in JC, what do? They brought mercenary, they brought Uganda, they brought Russia. Because why? To knock down the opposition. If the opposition, they have grouped themselves and they say we the opposition are the citizen of the nation, and instead to bring the foreigners, we will deal with this group based on our coalition. There's nothing wrong to do with it. Either I call personal. But everyone have opinion.
You get something wrong because you say they coming to fight the opposition. They're not fighting opposition. They're fighting the places that has a white army.
So you have to correct that right there, because all those they got.
I mean the opposition. The opposition ally. If they fight with the opposition, is the government. That's what I mean. It's the government.
Yeah, they're not fighting IO. You know, they just go. The place is all newer area. Go ahead.
Okay. So maybe you mistaken me. So I mean, like, if the opposition have a unification and they fight with the government, with the JC group, it's okay. Because that's the only thing that will overthrow and change the life for innocent. Instead for us to fight individually, because we're not fighting with the government. We are fighting with other separatist foreigners. It's too heavy for one opposition. Their call to make a unification within themselves as a citizen is the right call. In my personal view, you may hate it, but the government don't like it. Because the government want to deal with this opposition today, because they know that they have uphanded, they use the country resource, and then tomorrow they go deal with other groups. But if 2 or 3 groups have a good communication and come up with one voice, it's heard, the JC. So then I will stop there and I'll give you China Jama. But we yet, his call is right. It's a call for justice. It's a call for acknowledgement. It's a call to give the condolence to the people who lost their loved one. Instead of why army, everyone in South Sudan lost because of incident of 2013. But we know where the major problem where it was. We know it. So he did not do any bad. Yesterday I will listen to him, but I was distracted because I was still at work, and then I come up and just off and on. So now this is for the Jama, and I will give the back to you, team moderators, and thank you.
Much reward for your contribution.
You've been listening to this guy for the last hour. You know he's a moron, so you don't have to worry about that. Get him. Want him?